Hey everyone, K9 Chris here. It's a little bit late at night tonight. Going to be playing some Starcraft 2 here, as you can see. Probably one of my favorite games ever. All for the Swarm. Definitely cannot wait for the new one to come out with the Protoss expansion. Highly excited for that. This is going to be a little bit tutorial, just showing you about how I play. I'm going to be playing with my buddy Eros here. He's going to be assisting me. We're going to just kind of go. He's going to be playing Protoss, I'm going to be playing Zerg. You're going to get an idea of how I play, and at the same time, I'm going to be doing kind of a tutorial for you guys to show you the basis of Zerg, because I know there's a lot of people there who like to play Zerg, and it's going to be a very basic tutorial. Keep in mind, I'm not super advanced in my gaming on this, but, you know, I definitely know a little bit. So, you know, I got me some beer here. It's not Samuel Adams, I just got the cup. I think it's actually Land Shark or something. Good beer though, and gonna have a good time. Webcam's gonna be cut off from here, that way you guys can see the entire screen. So hope you enjoy. Stay tuned. So first thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pump out some more drones here and get some more minerals. I'm doing standard setup here. For those of you who are curious, just a standard mouse. It's about Starcraft 2 Razor Edition mouse with a Rosewill keyboard. Nothing too complicated. Got the standard setup going on. So next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to get an Overlord set out. That way I can do my extra unit capacity. I'm going to start scouting the map around here. First thing I usually like to go for playing Zerg is a rare mineral deposit, for the simple fact that Zergs require a lot of minerals, especially if you plan on pumping out a lot of units, due to the fact that Vespene gas is important, but a lot of the more crucial units due to the fact that a lot of the more crucial units are more ground-based, very heavy mineral-driven. Hydralisks are one of your main units that you would like to pump out. For me personally, along with Zerglings, Hydralisks can do both air and ground coverage, and then at the same time they don't cost a lot of Vespene gas. Okay, so now I'm going to get a drone set up over here, and I'm going to get him to build up a hatchery. That way I can start getting ready for a second deposit, as well as get one of my drones set up here on a Vespene geyser. In fact, let's go for both here since I have some extra minerals to spare, and pump out some more drones. Now keep in mind this is all going to matter on how much you farm and how you enjoy playing. You'll find your variation of playing, but for me personally, this is how I enjoy playing. I like, what's the word I'm looking for? I like swarming the mineral fields. That way, I can't think of the word right now. I like swarming the mineral fields, basically. That way I can get a good idea of everything going on. So as you can see here, over here, Eros right now is Protoss. He's getting up all his pylons. Definite necessity for the Protoss due to the fact that that's how you increase your unit capacity. It's not a cybernetics score, but it looks like he's getting the other unit out. That way he can start pumping up his abilities here, as long as he's got 2 Vespene geysers. Doesn't look like he's got any probes on there yet, though. So as you can see right now, I got one drone going to each of the Vespene geysers, and I am swarming that mineral field. Now it looks like this one's ready, so now this is where I'm going to take my units, and I'm going to start pumping out right there. Now, let's get the spawn pool. It costs 200 minerals to build a spawn pool, but it's your necessity for you to get started off. That's how you're going to get your Zerglings, and you're going to get your queen, and evolve your hatchery up into, I believe it's a lair first? Yes. Your hatchery to a lair. That way you can actually start pumping out some of the stronger units, start getting some of those more necessary building structures. Okay, looks like Eros is getting out some of these here. I can't remember the names right off the back of my head. I don't play Protoss too often. But those are definitely good for your air and ground units, or air and ground defense, excuse me. Okay, spawning pool is up, so first thing I'm going to start doing then is I'm going to get a queen, and queen's starting to get birthed, and up here I'm actually going to turn this one into my lair. Excuse me. Due to the fact that it's more set back, it'll have a lot more defense. Now, as it's evolving into a lair, you can still pump out drones and other various units, so don't feel afraid to. You're still able to take that to your advantage. As you can see, due to the fact, okay, need more overlords. Keep an eye up here. This is where you're going to get your count up here. Your minerals, your Vespine, and this is where you're going to keep count of your maxed unit count, which unfortunately I have failed to do. Now see, as we can see here, Eros is starting to set up a good defense line. He's going to want to leave a little gap here for units to go through, and what that's essentially going to do is what's called a fatal funnel, and in that aspect, it's actually going to take the enemies and force them through a specific area. And so what I'll do then is, eventually you'll see I'll take some swarm hosts and put them here, and channel them all into this general area. That way, all of the enemies that manage to pump through actually just end up getting swarmed and attacked. Okay, so now I'm going to start developing burrow, because as you'll see here in a minute, I'm going to start pumping out some roaches. And roaches are only useful if you have burrow, because if you don't have burrow, your roaches are pretty much useless. So let's get that roach warren up over here. And let's get a baneling nest up too. Is there anywhere good I can put this back here? Let's go right there. And see, this is where it comes into tricky. This is where it becomes a little bit tricky due to the fact that drones are how you evolve into your different buildings, and if you are not careful, you will run out of drones and you will not get the buildings. At the same time, the different larvae that come out of your hatchery, lair, etc. need to be evolved into drones, and if you do not control your larvae correctly, you won't be able to get at other units. So essentially, you're having to play a massive game of balance your units and make sure you don't fucking screw yourself over. Okay, it looks like we're getting some roaches coming to swarm up right now over here, but as you can see, Eros' defenses are showing up. Now, one downside here with the Protoss is they do not have an ability to actually heal their units, thus the reason why they have a shield and health. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm actually going to take my Overseer, and I'm going to start morphing some of them, or sorry, my Overlord, and start morphing them into Overseers. At the same time, I'm going to start developing the pneumatic-sized Carsopes. That way, any of my Overseers, Overlords that do come out actually manage to move faster and become a little bit more reliable. And the reason you want an Overseer for the simple fact that these guys can detect hidden units. There are specific units that are able to play the part of essentially ninjas. And if you don't have a unit such as this that can detect them, you are going to be royally boned. Okay, so fun little fact, if you take over one of your units here, double click, you select all the units. That or you, let's select off, or if you hold control and press on them, you'll automatically select all of them. At the same time, when you select your larvae here, you want to evolve into something specific, just hold down the letter and it'll evolve all of them into that specific one. Over here, I want a queen. Let's start putting them over here. Okay, I'm going to take one of these drones here, and I'm going to build me an evolution chamber. Let's get the roaches evolved. Because as you can see, I have very high mineral and Vespine count, so it's not going to hurt me too much to start pumping out a bunch of miscellaneous concepts here. Miscellaneous structures. As you can see, we're getting pretty heavily swarmed over here by roaches. Luckily, Eros's defenses are starting to take up. And he's dropping in Stargate. So what that means is he's going to start bringing up his aerial units, which is essentially what I want due to the fact that I'm dealing heavily in ground units. So what I'm going to do here with my queen, as you see, is I'll drop what's called a creep tumor. The creep tumor is essential for the fact that you can only build as a Zerg on creep. Not to mention, while on creep, all of your units will regain health as well as move faster. Now, it also works for you against the enemy due to the fact that your enemies cannot build on creep. Unfortunately, that also includes my partner here, because he cannot build on creep. So wherever I build these creep tumors, I need to make sure that I'm not infecting too much of his area. That way he can build up. Okay, so we got the evolution chamber up. Let's evolve some of these things here, give them some better defenses. And pump pump out a few more drones. Let's take you, and let's get you into an infestation pit so I can start getting in some swarm hosts. As well as you into a hydralisk den. Now, unfortunately, Starcraft does not have a voice communication system. If it does, I have not figured out how to work it out. Most of the time, when I am playing with people, it's mostly just over text because it usually doesn't take too much just to send out a quick message, so. Oh, well, it appears that all of my Zerglings actually got obliterated in the last attack. So, see, definitely got to keep an eye on this stuff. And at the same time, try to increase as much of your upgrades as you can. Believe it or not, it seems useless, but a lot of these miscellaneous upgrades actually end up helping out. Now, you'll figure out which ones work more to your playstyle and which ones work more in your favor, depending on how you like to play, but overall, they're pretty helpful. Such as over here, you'll see right here the adrenal glands. It unfortunately requires the hive and a lot of Espion gas, but it increases the attack speed of Zerglings by 20%, which is extremely helpful due to the fact that Zerglings aren't really powerful, more or less the fact that they're just really fast. Okay, so as you can see here, we got some enemies coming up, and this is where the roaches are going to come into play. They can move over here, and then they just pop up. And this is where the swarm host will also come in, due to the fact that they can bring out the locusts. Now, benefit to the roaches here, if you do like to play Zerg, and you do want to try to do more of a stealthy approach, though it can be difficult with roaches due to things such as overseers and detectable units to show them, is that while they are underground, they regenerate health at an exceedingly fast rate.
Metamorphosis complete.
Okay, then, let's see here. Evolve some for some more. Get some adrenal glands. Basically just getting everything I can leveled up here, so. Okay, so see, now I got a hive, so now that means I can start pumping out some of the more of the higher up structures, such as, let's see here. I'm going to go for an Ultralisk then, which is essentially your strongest unit on the ground. Air-wise, I would probably have to say maybe Broodlord. That's kind of debatable, but definitely ground-wise, it's the Ultralisk. Okay, let's see. Get some more of you guys out. Okay, so as you can see here, the Queen also has two other abilities. She has her Transfusion here, which instantly restores 125 to the target biological unit or structure. That does not mean that she can heal herself, but any of your structures or units she can heal, and then at the same time she can spawn larvae, which is for your hatcheries, hives, layers, etc., wherever your larvae are coming from. For the simple fact that normally they only pump out about 3 at a time, but when she does the spawn larvae ability, she's able to pump out like 7 of them. And here's where the roaches will come in. Now, as you can see, no overseers. Roaches have a big advantage. And some of them are dying, so I'm going to bury and run. Let the swarm host handle it. Okay, so over here, now that I got some of my defenses built up, I'm going to start building up a big unit ready for attack. I'm going to let my partner know here. And essentially what this is going to consist of is it's going to consist of Zergs, Hydralisks, Ultralisks, and Banelings. The Zerglings are really good for the fact that they get in there quick, they attack quick. The Ultralisks are really good for the come in and start just tearing everything up. Hydralisks cover the ground and air. And the Banelings you'll see when I get a good amount of Zerglings out, they're pretty much suicide bombers for lack of better terms. They just basically get in there and they just blow shit up. They blow themselves up and they fuck shit up. That's the best way of putting it, honestly. Okay, go through, kind of make sure just got all the miscellaneous stuff I want upgraded. Okay, as you can see here, he's starting to get his Void Rays in. These are probably one of the better units for Protoss, air-wise. Okay, take all of these Zerglings and just hold E. Watch the cocoons come. All the Banelings. Get some more Hydralisks out there while we're at it. And see, the nice thing here is with the Zerglings, if you actually look, they're only 50 minerals apiece. I have 2,500 some odd minerals. That's a shit ton of Zerglings. Unfortunately, the max cap here is 200 when you get enough overlords, and then eventually you just hit a point that you're just spawning overlords for no reason. And see, this is where his Void Rays will really come into help, for the fact that they destroy the Overseers, so my roaches can sneak in. Oh hey, look, they're getting destroyed, so now I'll hide them where no one can see them. Problem solved. Okay, so let's get a few more swarm hosts out here real quick. Now, if you're wondering how I'm designating where everything goes, just whatever you're going to choose to spawn, like how it's selected all of those right now, just move over where you want, right click. Now at the same time, I know this is probably a lot to follow. Unfortunately, this is a very fast-paced, strategical game due to the fact that, I mean, it's a great game, honestly, and there's a lot of potential to become a great e-gamer in this if you wish to. Okay, so as you can see here, it's telling me his base is getting threatened. He's getting attacked, but it looks like he's got some zealots coming out, he's got all his Void Rays going over. Looks like he's losing a few probes, having a little issues with the roaches. But overall, as you can see, he's pumping out that damage pretty well. And as soon as he can get a mothership out, the better, because that's going to hide his units out. But as you can see, unfortunately, my mineral fields are starting to become a little bit depleted. So I am going to start having to migrate here soon to a new mineral field if I can't get more units out here quickly. Which, it shouldn't actually be too long here now. Get a few more Zerglings out, get a few more Hydralisks out, I'll be good to go. Ultralisks aren't really needed superbly a lot. 3 to 6, I would say, is a good amount, due to the fact that they are a little bit slow, but once they get into the battle, you can let them handle everything as long as the air units are taken out. Once the air units are done with, the Ultralisks can take everything over from there. They're very robust, very powerful creatures.
Mutation complete.
Now, as you can see here, I'm going to take and highlight this entire area here, and I'm going to right-click or Control-1, and that tells you the number of units, and now anytime I want to, I just select that, and it selects all these units for me. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to turn these into Overseers. Anytime you can as Zerg, take an Overseer with you when you go to attack your enemy, because prime example is the Protoss have Dark Templar, and your Dark Templar are stealth units, and unless you have it a unit that can detect, you are going to be in a load of herds due to the fact that due to the fact that none of your units can really see it. Okay, so as you can see over here, unfortunately my mineral field was depleted, so now I have a bunch of drones kind of sitting around finger fucking each other as they kind of sit there, or claw clutching each other, I don't know. So they're going to go over here and they're going to start saturating the rest of the mineral field just to kind of get everything sort of ready. So I feel I'm kind of ready. So I'm going to wait for those guys to pass, and I'm going to select my ass load of units here, let my partner know. Okay, so see, this is what I was talking about. Broodlords, these are the guys that like to come in, and they just kind of throw units down from a distance. They're really good for helping to infiltrate. Personally, not a big favorite of mine. So what I'm going to do here is, you'll see my cursor change. I'm going to press A, and as you can see, it turns into a little crosshair. That's for my units to attack, as you can see down here. I'm going to hold the Shift key, and I'm honestly just kind of going to click around the map. And what that's going to do is that's going to have my units automate around to start attacking everywhere. Okay, so he's trying to get some carriers warped in, which are the bigger units, the stronger units for the Protoss. So as you can see, shit's starting to hit the fan. I already encountered about 6 Ultralisks, 4 Hydralisks, and some Overseers. Doesn't seem like my units are having too much problems. But then you go down here, and you can see that all of my Zerglings are kind of just going to town on this guy's little forward base here. And if you keep track up here, you can see where all my units are going. So, looks like the Ultralisks are moving with the Baneling, and we got another one with what looks like a Baneling and a Hydralisk. And as you can see, I dropped from 82 to about 20 some on units. Holy crap. And unfortunately, due to the fact I did lose Overseers and Overlords, I am now actually overcounting on my units. So first things first, and that's that I need to get Overlords out so I can add more units. Other words, I will not be able to. So, as you can see here, looks like some of my units managed to go through and identify what all of these bases are, which that's actually standard for a Zerg approach, is to just get out and just start building. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my units, I'm going to build a hatchery right out here by this rich mineral field.
Mineral field depleted.
And there's why! Another mineral field depleted. Not to mention I'm down to about 11 units. 2 Ultralisks, some Overseers, and oh nope, there goes my Ultralisks. Now I just got Hydralisks, and they're going down pretty quickly, it looks like. Well, good thing is I'm managing to take out a good majority of what looks like their base. Now, right now, what I'm doing is I'm actually telling my partner here to send in the carriers like ASAP here, because my units are holding them off. I mostly just have Overseers left. I have no idea where they are, actually. Oh, there they are. They both survived. Okay. So let's get you guys up here, actually. Okay, so I still have a good amount of minerals here, still have a good amount of SP gas, so what I'm actually going to do is what I like to call an Ultra Zerg, and it's going to be nothing but Ultralisks and Zerglings. And needless to say, I am going to screw shit up. Now, as you can see, all my mineral fields are depleted, and needless to say, I kind of got just drone after drone going, like it's literally a non-stop train right now. They're the Ultralisks! Holy shit. Okay, so, pump out some Zerglings over here. Get these guys all over here real quick. And I'm going to take all of these guys and just start swarming over to the left. Telling my partner here real quick so he knows. There they all are. There's all my Zerglings. Unfortunately, not a lot, but at the same time it works. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start taking these guys to the left here. As you can see here, Arrows is already starting to move in and starting to attack, starting to help clear out some of the miscellaneous air forces. So that way, or anti-air forces, shall I say. That way, I can pretty much come in and clean up. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a majority of these guys, since this seems to be safe, and I'm going to move them over here. Along with these guys will get rooted up, these guys will get rooted up, and they're all moving over here. All my swarm hosts are coming up, and they're going to move over here. Needless to say, I'm kind of setting up my forward base here with as much defense as possible. Because as you can see here, they're all starting to move in and attack, but at the same time, it's always good to be ready, just because of the fact you don't know. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take a few of these here. I'm going to start setting them up to go to different locations. So see, it looks like they're clearing out pretty well right now. The Ultralisks and Zerglings are kind of going ape shit on this right now. Now this is where the unfortunate part comes in, because going against AI, they will forfeit at some point. But until then, you're kind of playing scavenger hunts for whatever they may have. So, but I mean, as you can see, obviously right now, they're obviously trying to build up a new hatchery. They're trying to set up a new base, trying to get all these buildings out, and I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna fuck this shit up, and I'm gonna show them who's boss. That's all it's really coming down to right now. As you can see, my mineral count's building back up.
Forces are under attack.
Okay, so see, there we go. We got one of them to already surrender. So what that means is there's only one more left that we need to deal with. And as you can see here, the Ultralisks are pretty much going to shit. So what I like to do at this point is I'll take an Ultralisk into each area that I know where they might be going. And there we go. Never mind. That's game. Hey there everyone, K9 Chris. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, so that way I know to make some more of these. And if you have any suggestions for anything I need to play, feel free to leave it in the comments. Until next time, y'all have a good day. K9 Chris, signing out. Laters. I'm not sure. I'm not a biologist here, but I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure tigers don't eat apples. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. Here's to hoping for a good time here.